Donald Trump carried Missouri by a whopping 19 points 2 years ago. But recent polls have shown the president's standing in the Show Me state has dropped to around 50% approval and 49% disapproval. The numbers capture why the Republicans started this year's campaign confident of defeating Democratic Senator Claire McCaskill, and why her race against the GOP's Josh Hawley is one of the fall's true toss-ups. The pair offer a clear contrast, not just their different genders and generations, but also their ideologies and their stands on the issues. McCaskill is seeking her third term in the Senate, where she's the top Democrat on the Homeland Security Committee. Before coming to Washington a dozen years ago, she was the state auditor and the top prosecutor in Kansas City. But she's been a public official nonstop since clerking for a judge after law school 40 years ago. Hawley was also a law clerk for Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts, before spending a decade as an attorney focused on religious liberty and other constitutional law cases. Then he got elected Missouri's Attorney General 2 years ago. Hawley has aligned himself closely with the president and his priorities. McCaskill has long survived in red-tinged Missouri by positioning herself as an independent-minded centrist. But in the past couple of years, she's been a party stalwart in combating Trump's desires at almost every turn. Hawley says he would have enthusiastically voted to seat Brett Kavanaugh on the Supreme Court, and he called the allegations of sexual assault against him an ambush. McCaskill said she decided to oppose Kavanaugh's confirmation before those allegations because of his conservative views on a host of issues, especially his hands-off approach to campaign finance regulation. Hawley is part of a group of fellow Republican state attorneys general who are seeking to have the Affordable Care Act declared unconstitutional. McCaskill voted for Obamacare and has said it needs to be fixed, although only at the margins, not totally dismantled. Hawley backed the Trump tax cut and is supporting the president's trade war, saying the U.S. can get better deals by imposing tough tariffs. McCaskill voted against the tax law and is harshly critical of Trump's trade policies, saying they'll cripple farm prices and curb manufacturing. Hawley opposes abortion rights and says Planned Parenthood should lose its $400 million a year in federal aid. McCaskill has the backing of abortion rights groups and has voted for funding Planned Parenthood. Hawley is endorsed by the National Rifle Association. McCaskill has been behind almost all the gun control bills proposed during this decade's wave of mass shootings. Hawley is enthusiastic about the president's plan to build a wall along the Mexican border and his other hardline immigration policies, including adding a citizenship question in the next census. McCaskill is a skeptic of the wall, backs legislation prohibiting the separation of children and parents at the border, and says that citizenship question is unneeded and could ruin the census. Neither candidate, however, has said much about climate change, even after that big United Nations report warning of dramatic consequences within 25 years. Hawley talks vaguely about being a good steward of the environment without killing jobs. But like many conservatives, he doesn't actually like to utter the phrase global warming. McCaskill's middle ground makes neither side happy. Environmentalists like that she's backed clean energy efforts and higher fuel efficiency rules. But they don't like that she's opposed coal power regulations and legislation to set a price on carbon emissions.